I'm 99% sure that Spider-Man will die in Avengers Doomsday, and I'm here to convince you why. Hey, what's up there, nerdies, and welcome to the first teaser, Spider-Man Brand New Day. So the first thing to mention is the suit itself. It has raised webbing, and this is a very familiar suit also because Tobey Maguire had the same suit. Also, Andrew Garfield had it. This teaser immediately gave me some Spidey tinglings that I wanted to talk about.
Let me tell you something.
Because in Doomsday, not only is Tom Holland not announced to be in it, but there's going to be, I think, a surprise cameo. And this surprise is going to tie in with the first Avenger. Is going to tie in with the snap. We all remember the snap, and that has become the staple of Thanos and the Avengers, the culmination of the Infinity War Avengers. And at the end of the day, that is what resonated with people. Now it comes full circle. We have a rumor that has been going around saying somebody will sacrifice himself for the betterment of the group. So somebody will eventually die in Avengers Doomsday. If you remember, if you go back to Avengers Infinity War, one of the persons who disappeared from the snap was Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And who was holding him while he disappeared? That was, of course, RDJ's Tony Stark, who was Iron Man at the time, who was the closest to Peter Parker. Now, at this point, we know that RDJ is going to be playing Doctor Doom. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to come out before Avengers Doomsday. Inevitably, there's no chance in hell that this movie is not going to have some sort of a link with the Avengers Doomsday movie, perhaps same as Fantastic Four with a post-credit scene or something. Now, what if Peter Parker meets up with Doctor Doom in a quick scene? This, of course, will mean that Peter Parker will immediately recognize that Doctor Doom now has the face of Tony Stark. And who would be the most impactful death? If this rumor is true, that somebody will die, will unalive himself. This is what the reports are saying, that he will sacrifice himself in order to save somebody or the group entirely. So who would make the most sense? Many people have gone on to say that it's going to be Thor. And yes, while Thor, I think, is not going to survive Avengers Doomsday, and no chance he's surviving Avengers Secret Wars if it comes to that, if he survives Avengers Doomsday, Thor is going to die because Chris Hemsworth has signaled for a long time that he wants to move on, so that's fine. But at this point in time, it would be full circle if we get an Avengers Infinity War scene, but reverse in Avengers Doomsday. So Peter Parker dies while Tony Stark holds him. This time around, Peter Parker dies, but it's Doctor Doom holding him or killing him. Here's the thing. I know many of you know that he is slated to play 2 more Spider-Man movies after Brand New Day, and also involved with the Avengers movies too. Sony and Marvel have struck a deal. That is true. But this doesn't mean that his death could not carry any weight. He could come back, of course, for the other movies because he did so in a previous movie, Avengers Infinity War. He died there too. He disappeared, and Marvel could essentially do the same thing this time around. They could kill off Peter Parker only for him to come back later. Again, we're dealing with Marvel here. Nobody's really dead. Just look at this report. It says Tom Holland says he'll probably take a bit more time off from acting in 2027. He said, "We'll see," in a GQ magazine. Doesn't this scream at you? Doesn't this show you that he is signaling to the fans he might be off of Spider-Man for a while? And for a while means after Avengers Doomsday, where he will probably be the one to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the Avengers. This is why he was probably not announced until we see just him hopping up on the screen, because the Russo brothers and Kevin Feige want to hold it a secret. This will give us more weight to that death scene. Not only did we not know that Spider-Man would appear, but he did make his appearance and he died to sacrifice himself. This will carry a lot of weight, and I remember that scene where Peter Parker died in Infinity War. People couldn't wait for Endgame just because of Peter Parker. It was heavy on the heart of a lot of fans and Tony Stark too. So this time around, it would also make a whole lot of sense. Speaking of RDJ, of course, let's talk about him for a second. So a couple of days ago, Robert Downey Jr. posted new videos and images from his trailer as he is shooting Avengers Doomsday, by the way. Right now, he is shooting it. He gave out some videos. Outside of a few mysterious set photos, the Doomsday set has been completely locked down by Marvel Studios ahead of its debut, but this has not stopped some of the actors going in, offering little nuggets of information, and boy, did Robert Downey Jr. just break the complete Marvel internet. All the fans are hyped. So let's go through them step by step, and then we're going to talk about the X-Men and also the daughter of Sue Storm, which could be involved with Doctor Doom as well. Here's the first image of Robert Downey Jr. sharing a video of himself listening to Change of Scenery, which is by his son, Indio Downey, a song by his son on Spotify. But there's the West Coast Avengers comic right there with Doctor Doom featured prominently on the cover. More specifically, this is the West Coast Avengers Volume 2, issue number 35. Okay, so the fans went rampant. Some were accusing Robert Downey Jr. of just, promoting his son's music and using Doctor Doom as promotion material. But the next day, Robert Downey Jr. did not stop, and this might be a response to the fans that it's not all about my son's promotion, which unfortunately he did promote him again in the second day, but this time above the iPad, there are two separate Marvel comic issues that fans could dissect. On the left, it is the Secret Wars Omnibus, and honestly, if you ask me, I don't think he's reading any omnibuses. Those are too large and too big, and he might enjoy an off issue or two, but specifically this Secret Wars Omnibus has 12 issues featuring stories with Thor, She-Hulk, and What If stories. But on the right, this is what's interesting. On the right, Iron Man Legacy of Doom, issue number 1 from 2008. This shows both of his characters. He played both Iron Man and now will play Doctor Doom. And they are charging at each other on the cover, which is kind of a teaser, kind of a hint that the Iron Man himself, RDJ, could be back in Avengers Doomsday. This is a complete reality right now. After seeing this issue, how in the world does he think he could get away with this?
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I don't think RDJ is still grasping the game he is playing it with right now, because this is huge.
Oh my God, it's huge.
Thanks.
This is a teaser that Iron Man could be back and he could fight Doomsday. So imagine RDJ versus RDJ. This is, turning into fanfic. But let's go back to what actually does this comic mean? What do these comics mean? Let's talk about the first image, the West Coast Avengers. In that issue, the Avengers end up in Latveria and encounter a young fake Doctor Doom while going on the run from a communist country. Ironically enough, this story does not feature Doctor Doom as part of the plot, but Robert Downey Jr.'s use of West Coast Avengers imagery is still notable. He might be hinting something there, maybe a variant, maybe just a one-off spin-off scene, because there's more. I mean, RDJ has been spotted wearing multiple shirts featuring the West Coast Avengers in his interview. So this is not just a one-off comic, an image that just happened by happenstance. This might be something more that he is, trying to wink at us. The team of West Coast Avengers included Hawkeye, Tigra, Mockingbird, and even Iron Man, who Robert Downey Jr. turned, of course, into a household name. And the last time he played him was it's been 7 years now. Yeah, he really seems to like them for some reason, and again, it might hint that there's gonna be jumps in Avengers Doomsday, and we might see it. But let's go to the second one, because I'm so excited for this image. This image is just so beautiful, and RDJ posting this is something special for sure. Even if he's, promoting his son's music, which I don't care. At the end of the day, this gets us talking, boy. This gets the juices flowing, because in the second image, in Iron Man Legacy of Doom, this is what happens. In the story, Iron Man and Doom are on the cover. The two are forced to team up to stop Mephisto. Now, he has featured some stories with Mephisto too, but these two guys, Iron Man and Doom, ironically or unironically, played by RDJ, they team up to stop him to bring the end of days. But if you read the issues, as the issues go on, there are several, of course, twists and turns, and the alliances change. At the end of the day, they end up battling each other, which is an even crazier instance, an even crazier scene. I mean, imagine RDJ playing Iron Man in Avengers Doomsday, and he's fighting Doctor Doom. So RDJ against RDJ. It could be a monumental, iconic scene in the MCU. Convoluted? Sure, why not? But still, very iconic. By the way, during Comic-Con, Matt Shakman was just asked, was Robert Downey Jr. actually playing Doctor Doom in that post-credit scene? So the interview went like this. Shakman said, did I do the end credit scene? No, because by now we know that the Russo brothers did both the Thunderbolts post-credit scene and now the Fantastic Four post-credit scene. And he said, yeah, the Russos did the tag. And the interview asked, was that Downey in the suit? He answered yes. We know that Matt Shakman previously denied that Doom was going to be in the movie because, of course, the insiders wrestlers started rumoring about. They started spreading rumors that Doom was going to be featured in the movie in Fantastic Four. And he actually was, technically, in the mid-credit scene. So yeah, now we can rest the debate. It was actually Robert Downey Jr. taking it seriously, which is, you know, we're glad to see. He took the role seriously. He went in to do a faceless 2-second scene, which is great. But now be sure to subscribe and become part of the nerdy gang. I'll see you next time.